A lot of recreational players think that they need to hit hard in order to play good tennis. In reality, you need to achieve that effortless feel in order to start hitting heavier balls. In today's lesson, I will show you how with the right technique, the ball will roll off your string without the tension of, hitting hard while holding your racket very strong. So we'll break this lesson into 3 key points. Number 1, we're going to talk about your grip. So grip is essential for, that overall relaxed feeling when you're holding the racket. You can be gripping to where your wrist and your fingers are so tight that, you're not really feeling the racket. So let's say if your tightest grip it's at 10, level 10, you want to relax it to somewhere around 5, to where you are not gripping the racket like super loose, to where once you hit it's kind of rolling off your fingers. You still want to have that control over the racket, but you don't want the tight grip to in essence make you handicap, right? So somewhere in between, keep that grip loose, keep the wrist loose. The wrist is also not, it is firm, right? The wrist is firm, but it's not to where, again, you will feel frozen on the tennis court. An easy drill that you can do for loosening up your wrist will be to get a bucket of balls. It doesn't have to be a cart as big as this. You will need maybe 15-20 balls, and try to self-feed, right? You're self-feeding. It is important that once you are taking the racket back, the wrist is relaxed, it's not super tight, because this how the take back will look with a very stiff wrist. And in reality, you really need to take it back like this, where the wrist is slightly bent, and as you're coming forward, the wrist is flat like that. And at the end of the stroke, the wrist turns towards your face to check the time. So the wrist is kind of active during that stroke, right? And for this reason, if you keep it tight, you will not be able to have that feel shot. So you can do that 10-15 times, right? Always remember while doing it to remind yourself to stay loose and not stiffen up, because we do have the tendency, when something is difficult, when we're very focused, to tighten up, and we're really focused, let's say, on contacting, but everything else kind of like stiffens up. So all these little problems that you have with stiffness, over time, with a lot of repetition, with the conscious effort, you'll be able to solve. So the drill here for the loose hand and grip, it's 10-15 balls on each side of the court, right? Drop the ball, hit it with the intention to have a nice and relaxed stroke. Key number 2 to playing effortless tennis is the coil and uncoil. Yes, we want to add power in an effortless way to our ball. Remember that tennis, it is not an arm sport. It is like leg sport, upper body sport. You are using your whole body when you're playing tennis. The power, the control does not come only from your arm. So we're going to talk a little bit about coiling and uncoiling. Remember that you do get the power from, turning, boom, you see how my body is twisting, my waist is twisting, coiling and uncoiling. So that explosiveness, that like rotation from your waist really brings power and control to your shot. And in this way, you could generate power in the most effortless way possible. A drill that you can do that will help you to work on your unit turn and coiling and uncoiling is very simple. You will need a bucket of balls, or just like 10-15 balls, whatever you have handy. I do have the bucket, so I'll take it here with me. And what you want to work on, you're getting into your semi-open stance. You will turn, do the unit turn, right? Drop your ball and uncoil. So, coil, drop, uncoil, lean in always, right? Coil, drop, uncoil. And you can do that 10-15 times on your forehand side, 10-15 times on your backhand side. And the more you repeat, the better for you. Remember, tennis, it's sport that you learn in repetition. You can go on YouTube and watch 100 videos, but unless you do it, unless you put the effort with, drills and systematic work, and obviously, if you can film yourself and see the progress, that's even better. In this way, you will really, really learn. And in general, that's how we learn, right? Okay, guys, key number 3 to the effortless stroke. It's the finish of the shot, or the closing up here on your shoulder. So this part of the stroke, it's extremely important in order to have that nice, powerful shot, because if you stop the motion in the middle here, you abruptly stop the progression of that shot and you're not using its full potential, which really finishes all the way up here on your shoulder. Okay guys, an easy drill that we can do here comes with the bucket of balls, or 10-15 balls, whatever you have. We are going to drop the ball and we're going to focus on contacting and pushing the ball a little bit more forward, and this will naturally help us follow through and combine the contact with the finishing motion, okay? While in the previous drills we focused on loosening the grip, coiling and uncoiling, right now the focus really will be just on the contact and pushing that ball a little bit forward, and then finishing on your shoulder, right? This will really help with your effortlessness. Okay, so to finish up the lesson, we will try to combine all 3. Loosening up your grip, coil, uncoil, contact, follow through, and finish up on your shoulder. So you're gonna focus on all these things, and maybe again for 10, 15, 20 balls on each side of the tennis court. If there is one thing that you want to take away from this lesson, it's stop hitting hard, focus on the contact, focus on the loosened grip, uncoiling, finishing your shots, and in this way you will be able to have your best shots. It's not about hitting hard, it's more about feeling the ball and having this effortless feel, which again happens with a lot of repetition and focusing and working on the right thing. I would love to hear your suggestions to keeping effortless strokes on the tennis court. Thank you so much, like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.